Yeah. I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me on. So when I was in high school, there's a TV productions program that one of my teachers had going. You can start doing it your sophomore year. So I did that class. I did it my junior year. So I got like the interview basics down, all that fun stuff. Then senior year rolls along. It's COVID year. Not a lot of people can go out and watch sports and stuff. So he expanded the broadcasting crew for football games, hockey games, stuff like that. So he asked me to join it. I did a lot of the hockey stuff that year. I did some football stuff. I went into college just thinking I could just do it as a side thing, focus on my major, which was cybersecurity. But first couple weeks in, I get an email from my now boss, Alex Gagnon, that said that he was looking to get more club sports uh, involved with all the R&D community and everything. I reached out and said, hey, I've done this. He interviewed me and said, cool, I'm going to give you the keys to this. You can run with it. And so, yeah, it kind of did fall into my lap. I ended up changing to sports communications as my major now. And yeah, I've kind of taken the keys and ran with it. And Alex has been a huge help. But yeah, now it's only in the middle of my sophomore year. Probably close to 100 games under my belt at this point. Yeah, it is. It was. You meet yourself on YouTube and stuff too? Did you meet yourself everywhere? Oh no. Oh boy. Yeah, I can still hear you. Run it back. Yeah, I can hear you.
How about now?
I can hear you. Okay.
Shit! This effing mixer. All right, we got it. My audio track was on track 2 instead of track 1. We're going to start this over right now. Mark it. 5 minutes in. 5.5 minutes. Hi, everyone. Welcome to TommyRo Talks Podcast, the podcast about all things streaming. I, of course, am your host, TommyRo. Tonight, my special guest is Cadeyn from Robert Morris University out there in Pittsburgh. I've known Cadeyn for many, many years now, and honestly didn't know that he was doing streaming. And remember, this is not, thank you, Gary. And remember, this podcast isn't just for things about streaming video games. It's all things streaming. That's what it says down there, covering all things streaming. So whether you're a content creator, podcaster, streamer, video game streamer, cooking, whatever, sports, we want to hear from you. So Cadeyn actually is my very first non-gaming creator, honestly, on the program. But he is a college sports broadcaster for Robert Morris University out there in Pittsburgh. Cadeyn, welcome on.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Happy to have you on. So, once again, I'll ask you the same question because now everyone can hear me. So, I've known you for many years. I know you used to play a lot of sports. I know you used to actually talk to some athletes. You've got the hockey puck collection and the trading card collection. Yeah. But how did you get into doing what you're doing with your school for the college sports broadcasting? How did you get into that? Did you apply and did you know when you went to college that's what you wanted to do? Or was it presented to you to kind of fall in your lap?
Side note, I still do collect hockey cards and stuff, and still a fun hobby of mine. But going back to the broadcasting stuff, I started in high school, sophomore year of high school. I joined the TV program that they were running. Junior year, I did some more interview stuff, kind of dipped my hands a little bit into filming. Senior year rolls along, it's COVID year. So a lot of people can't go to sports, they can't go watch football games, hockey games. So they expanded the TV crew pretty much. So I got my first crack at actual broadcasting. Did some play-by-play for football, hockey, all that. As like a side hobby. Went into Robert Morris as a cybersecurity major, so it wasn't originally my full plan to go into sports communications. But first or second week into college, get an email from Alex Cadeyn, my now boss, and said that he was looking for people to help out in streaming these games and the acknowledgement of all these teams. I had an interview with him, and he kind of said, "Hey, you're the first one who kind of wants to help out with this. You're going to get the keys to this. You can run it, me and you." And ever since then, he's kind of let me do my own thing. I've done probably close to 100 games at this point now. It's been my sophomore year, so it's been amazing. And I'm a communication major, and I'm looking to keep the ball rolling.
That's great. I'm so happy to hear that. And okay, so I got your YouTube and your Twitch up because you guys are on there. In Twitch, your stuff is posted. Your links are on the Twitch channel, guys. Do you just do the hockey, or do you cover I see other sports on their YouTube channel, but there's other people on that. Do you just do the hockey, or do you do other sports as well?
So when I first applied, I strictly wanted to do hockey, and he said, "Well, there's always other sports you can do." And I said, "All right, I'll take a crack at it." And actually, the more and more that I talk to professional broadcasters, the more and more they said, "Yeah, dip your feet into every sport." They want to look for variety and how you can handle things that you're uncomfortable with. So I did pickleball, which is not a very well-known sport, and obviously going into what I have no clue how to call a pickleball game. So I sat there an hour before our stream started watching a live pickleball game. How do I do this? So I had to learn that, and I think it actually went really well from what people told me. And basketball, which was really fun to do. We did some volleyball, we did rugby. So I've dipped my feet in a lot of different sports. And I think it's helped a lot because it's just getting me more and more used to calling games, getting in situations, and feel more comfortable in doing pretty much anything. I think at this point, you can put me in front of every sport, I can find a way to do it, which it's really, really helped. Yes. So when you get a new color commentator in there, we call it a color. So there's play-by-play and color commentator. Play-by-play talks about or kind of goes along as the play's happening. Then the color guy comes in and points with maybe a stat or what a team should do better or something along those lines. And if it's someone I haven't worked with before, I kind of have to take the role of keeping the conversation going when the play is dead and leading them into something we can bounce back and forth with. It's not much of a practice beforehand. It's kind of just doing it naturally. But if it's someone who I have done it with maybe 4 or 5 times, I know what they're going to talk about in between plays. It's a lot easier to flip the conversation to them. So there's not really a bunch of practice. I mean, you do talk in intermission stuff like, yeah, let's get this in here at some point. Yeah, let's do this at some point. But it just like anything can happen in a split second. You're going to be able to change your thought on the fly to somehow keep the audience attention going and keeping it fun for everyone to watch.
How do you go from being a fan to being an announcer? Like, how do you not sit there and just trash talk on the other team? Or is there some kind of like tactful way to do it without sounding like a D-bag?
So that was one of the hardest things when I started doing this in high school, was when you put the headset on, you have to be 50-50 when you're calling these games. And high school, we did probably 80-30 or 80-20. So we definitely got not some very happy fans from the opposing teams, but going into college, I kind of knew that already, just being like, yeah, you got to be 50-50. So it's kind of just, when it gets to intermission, you just let everything out almost. As soon as that headset turns off, you can just start trash talking away at the other teams. You just have to hold it in. There's no really a tactical side to kind of chirp a guy. Say like some dude on the other team cross-checked you dude in the head. You can say, oh, that was a dirty play. He should get a penalty for this. But you can't be like, he should be suspended from the league. That was a dirty hit. What was he doing? How is this not? You can't do it. It's all practice, I guess. Just kind of just keeping your composure under pressure. But as soon as that mic comes off, yeah, I'm definitely letting some things go that I've been holding in for 20 plus minutes.
Who are some of your broadcasting mentors? Is it John Candy from Major League? The guy, John Candy, is it the guy from Major League, or is it like Bob Mannery?
So when I was little, obviously Doc Emmerich, who worked for NBC, was one of my biggest idols.
More professional.
Yeah, professional NHL broadcaster. Also Gary did ESPN games when I was really little. As a Penguin fan, obviously I have a little bit of bias towards Mike Lang with the radio stuff. Currently Steve Mears and Josh Getzoff, two actual friends of mine who I've talked to a lot. They've taught me a lot with just reviewing film with me, practicing things. We've been reaching out a lot. Steve's close to my hometown, so we've talked a little bit about that. Also, the LA Kings broadcaster, Alex Faust.
Okay.
He came into Pittsburgh a couple weeks back. He took me to the arena. I got to do some media stuff with him. He's been in touch with me for about 2 years now. And then a couple of minor league broadcasters, Nick Hart, Aaron Cooney, Sean Bednar, just to name a few, have also really, really helped.
That's awesome.
There's a lot of broadcasters who I've looked up to, and a lot of guys who have helped me out a lot so far.
So the other question I had about sportscasting is, like I said, I was watching your one that's playing now on the channel, and the stats from the players. How do you keep track? Like, you're talking about the rivalry, and this player had this, and then like the season stats. Do you have a cheat sheet, or is that all up there?
It's a little bit of both.
Huh?
So before a game, we have, if it's for our men's Division 1 team, Division 3 team, or women's D2 team for hockey, they give us partial stats on the website. But everything else is off the top of your head, or you have to write down beforehand. And for a Division 4 team, it's literally by word. You just have to keep track. But I usually have a cheat sheet in front of me with the stats. But I kind of know ahead of time, like if this person scores this goal, it's a milestone in this area. The rivalries are just, after being someone, you kind of just learn who the rivalries are, who the best players are. So it's a little bit of both, like I said. But the cheat sheet does come in handy. And I say, like, oh, this person has 7 power play goals. I might know beforehand that he has a lot, but I don't know how many. So that's where the cheat sheet kind of definitely comes in handy.
There you are. So, and there he is. See, there he is. So I know one thing that I have to do. I actually have a little post-it note right on my computer when I do these podcasts. Is a note that says, "Slow down," because I'm notorious for talking too fast, mumbling over myself, slur all my words together, to the point when I do when I do my my closed captioning, it's just jumbled letters. do you have any kind of like voice exercises you do before you go on like Mime Mamo Moo or something like a vocal singer would do before a concert? Do you do any kind of voice exercise or just you're just you?
I kind of say that I just kind of just roll with it and kind of just go as is. But I am one before a game to blast music in my car and sing along to it to get the voice warmed up.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, definitely if I'm rolling down 28 and I'm blaring country or some Morgan Wallen or something like that, yeah, you definitely know I'm getting the voice ready, getting some singing.
No Dave
I
Matthews
do
Band,
do
huh?
that. No, I'm not a big DMB guy. I'm more country, more rap, more rock kind of person. Yeah, definitely. I think that's my always go to. Is always get warmed up in the car. After that, it's just talking, keeping the voice going. Um, my girlfriend always tells me I have to drink hot tea before a game and during a game. She says I sound better that way, and I'm a big tea guy, so I always think that kind of
I was
keep
asked about that. Like, do you have like
the
coffee
voice
tea?
fresh.
Like, do you always walk around with a scarf on your throat, like protect my voice, protect my
Nah,
voice?
not usually. If it's before a game, I just try not to talk too much, just to keep the mouth, ready. And then always in between periods and stuff, I'm always at the water fountain for a couple minutes, just try to keep the mouth fresh. And then, like I said, the hot tea thing before a game and or during a game. If I have my girlfriend there, she's always one to be like, "Yeah, you need to drink before this." I'm like, "Okay."
So from what I'm seeing here, I see it's like a bit of a production. Like now, do you have like a hair and makeup person, or is that all on you and whatnot?
No, that's all me. No, we don't have the budget for that. It's not that. Maybe if I had an NCA job, I might have someone help me out a little bit. But yeah, everything's all me.
And then
She's not like, "Hey, fix your hair, or do this, or sit like that." But yeah, no hair and makeup person.
obviously a lot of what we do, we talk about content creation. Are you involved with any of the editing or post editing? Are you strictly the face man? You sit there, you bring the entertainment, and then you get the heck out of Dodge.
I do a little bit of stuff behind the scenes.
Okay.
So like we have our live show that we do, we interview players and stuff. Uh, beforehand, usually me and my right hand guy Andrew Keel work on graphics. He usually does that, but I do more of the organizational stuff, making sure people are where they're supposed to be at games. I usually help with the setup and stuff. If it's the cameras, if it's putting the headset box together, making sure everything's plugged in the right spot. I kind of say I've taken more of a leadership role, especially when my boss isn't there. He does trust me with the want to make sure everything's running okay. So I've had a couple of games where I've had to almost do it by myself with a bunch of rookies to teach them how to do things. So I've taken. I like to say I'm more the voice and the face, but I've done some stuff behind the scenes to help out too.
Now, do you when you do your broadcasts, as we see here, are there more than one? Is there more than one camera on you, or do they tell you, forget the cameras, just talk? They tell you, look at this camera. Or how does that work behind the scenes?
So if we have enough staff, we run three cameras. One that's usually at center ice for hockey related. We have one at center ice, one towards the net, and then one facing me and my other commentator. Um, Usually at the beginning of the game when we do our introduction, we know that the camera looking at us is the live one, and then when we go to intermission, that one's going to be the live one. If it's during the play, we have the computer screen next to us and know what's live, but I try not to look at it. So if you see like a clip of me just staring off into the game as like if we're at a whistle or something and I have no idea the camera's on me, that's why. So I don't have like an earpiece telling me like, hey, your camera's live at the moment, or like, hey, your square is live at the top corner. But I just kind of know beforehand, like beginning of the game, it's on you. End of the period, it's on you. End of the game, it's on you. It is kind of cool when I'm at the rink. Obviously, I'm friends with a bunch of the hockey players, so it kind of helps out the broadcast too, knowing that I can squeeze some information that they give me. But when I walk into the rink sometimes with all the equipment, some parents will always stop me and be like, "Hey, nice interview with my son," or "Hey, great job on this." Or it is kind of cool though to see how many people actually do watch it and that do recognize you. Like they may not know your name, but they're like, "Hey, you're the broadcaster." I'm like, "Yeah, that's me." Like you do a great job. You guys do a great job, and it always makes me feel good before, especially all the
Yeah.
parents do support us and tell us that we're doing a good job. Also, seeing other teams too that will come in like, hey, you guys are the RMU crew. And they're like, yeah. And they're like, man, we wish we could do what you guys do. And I'm like, thanks.
Oh.
So it is kind of cool. I don't like to think it's like famous or anything, but just getting a little bit of acknowledgement is kind
No,
of
it's
cool.
great. It absolutely is. You got to be recognized. It's going to be recognized for your talents. So when the team
Yeah.
travels, do you travel with them, or does the other team, like their home court people, do the cast?
Some teams have their own guys. So I've not traveled to do any of our hockey games yet. I've traveled with our hockey team up to Grove City, PA,
Okay.
to do a stream of their games. We actually went to Kalamazoo, Michigan last year for their tournament for the finals. We didn't broadcast it because they were streaming rights, but I did like vlogging almost. And then this year they're going to Anaheim, California, which hopefully we can go down to. We went to Niagara this year to cover club basketball with live games. We got to see Niagara Falls, which was pretty cool. We try to send people, but we just don't have the staff to do it. Also, with so many hockey teams that we have, it's kind of hard for my boss to send me to go, since I'm the voice of pretty much all four teams. He doesn't want to lose me to me going to, Liberty or something else like that. So I haven't gotten a lot of it. Of travel to them yet. It's so fun when I get the chance to go.
No, that sounds great. I love that. And so do you? And I know you said parents come to you and say about interviews. So do you only obviously is it safe to say that you don't cover just the game? Like, if do you cover all things sports on campus? Like, if a player, was caught, doing something shady outside of, and it's in the news, like, do you like interview like, hey, what's with the allegations? Or are you strictly sports, like live game content?
When it comes outside the game, I do a little bit of writing. We haven't had an incident like that yet,
Thank good.
so we haven't had to really do that. I don't know what we would do if something like that happened. I'm guessing that we would have to, write something up. Probably my boss or I would have to do it. But yeah, when it comes to interview stuff, it's more when I get them to sit down in front of the camera with me. It's have fun, poke at your teammates, talk about us, like kind of like this, like where are you from, what do you do, all that kind of fun stuff. There's some fun back and forth between a lot of the players, jokes and stuff that are ongoing. So it's kind of nice for them to get their personality and be more than just hockey players in front of the camera, which is the fun part.
Yeah, so that was a question. Like, so, like, let's say there's a player on a team, whatever sport it is, and they're like injured, and like, do you have like special guests come on, like, sit there with you and like coach, or is it just you and the other guy in the red shirt there we saw? Do there were players or other teammates or whatever, or like assistant coaches, something like that, ever get involved with your end of it?
Sometimes when maybe if one of the teams is playing at home and the other team comes back from their road trip, I might pull one of the guys aside and talk to them for a couple minutes about their game. Um, for basketball, we've had the coach come up after every game, do like a media presser, which is nice. We've had players come up from the basketball team and do stuff. We're still working on doing some stuff with hockey to maybe the head coach, who is a big fan of our stream, still come up and do a post game presser. Maybe some of the players, but we haven't done that quite yet. But we're working on it, trying to improve with all of our what we can do to make the game a little bit more fun, a little bit better. But at the moment, trying our best. Still, we're not there yet.
Oh, that's great. What would you say was, if you had one, your favorite either interview or favorite moment?
Ooh.
Ah.
Like game moment or like interview, like when I do my show?
I don't know how many interviews you've been on, so what was your favorite moment? And if you have both, one interview, one game moment, let us hear it.
Okay. Game one was when I called our win against West Virginia in overtime. That was an absolute thriller. We were down by one with, I think, 30 seconds left. We scored a goal with, I think, 2 seconds left to send it to overtime. And then we went to overtime. Last minute of the game, one of our guys goes on a breakaway, Nate Mickey, scores a beautiful goal to get a hat trick. Fans are going absolutely ballistic. I'm going ballistic on the microphone. It was so much fun to be at that game and call that game. Coincidentally, the next game, though, we're at home, and one of our guys, Roman Kramer, who I was on the color commentary for this time, not the play-by-play, pulls off this ridiculous spin move. Like, spins around full circle, puts it on the heel of his stick. So, like, if this is a stick, it's, like, down here where my thumb is, dragging it in a circle, and puts it 5-hole on the goalie. went on like ESPN. It was absolutely ridiculous.
Wow.
Favorite interview moment? Oh, that's tough. Probably when I had George Macrocostas, Rob Byrne, and Keith Reed on. They all lived together, all part of the D1 team. And our other co-host, Nathan Mauser, comes in with a hockey stick. And we told George to tape the hockey stick like one of his teammates, Austin Albert, who taped his stick. And I guess the whole story afterward was someone grabbed his stick and put his girlfriend's name on his tape. And he went out to the game with his girlfriend's name on the tape. So we made George replicate that. And then afterwards, we all signed the stick, and now it's hanging up in my friend Nate's dorm room, which was all on my there, which was pretty funny.
Oh, awesome. So let's say with ice hockey, for any of the sports that you play, because I know you played a little basketball, deck hockey, this, that. Do the players know you play sports? And have you ever been invited to like a practice or like, hey, get on the ice with us for a little bit and do this, or is that like players only on the field?
For ice, they take it a little bit more seriously, so never really any outside guys on the ice with them. We even got a chance to catch one of our practice because they skate at like 6 in the morning, so that's not ideal for any of us.
Yeah.
But yeah, when we sometimes will go up to the deck up towards our rec kind of area, and we can shoot around a little bit, have some fun. So yeah, I'm involved a little bit with that, especially when our deck tournaments come around. It gets a little physical, a little fun, but it's all good rivalry. So yeah, I've played a little bit with them, just not on the ice because I'm not a good skater by any means. It's fun to play with them. Now they're all really talented. Just makes it a lot more fun.
What would you say is your long-term goal with this? You said you want to take the keys and take it over and run with it. Like post-graduation, keep on doing this for the school, or do it on like like a next level?
Pretty much wherever I can end up. I want to do it long term. If it's doing minor league somewhere in Quebec, if it's staying here and doing something with the Penguins, it's like a radio host. If it's in, I don't know, Louisiana, I'll take whatever opportunity is given to me. Obviously, the main goal is the top peak of being like an ESPN NHL broadcaster. That's obviously the main goal.
Yeah, that's the big
But
game.
anywhere in between, if it's small city this, small city that, only doing radio hosting for that, like you got to take the risk, and wherever it leads you, I mean,
does anyone ever take the audio from your cast and transcribe it to like text and do like, is it ever in print or on like a blog spot, or is it just a live content as it comes in?
I don't think anyone's done word for word transcribing, but there is my buddy Jeff Viola, who does video making. He'll take the clips that he takes with his camera and use my audio and have maybe words go over the screen and stuff like that, like he did with our West Virginia game I was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
He'll do that kind of stuff for like the big moments, but I don't think anyone goes word for word transcribing though.
Okay. I only asked because I know there's a few programs that if you just let the audio play, it'll closed caption it for you, and then you can just post that and put on a blog or whatnot.
That might not be a bad idea.
He hires someone to come in and do like his same videos but in different languages. You have to go to multinational.
Yeah. If we were a little bit bigger, I think probably we have a little bit more budget to work with.
And then that's the thing. So on your resume, when looking for the job, later on to do what you're doing, do you have like a paper, like, I don't know how to word this, like a paper resume, or would you say, hey, if you go to this YouTube channel, like you'll see me, or do you keep clips like for yourself, like a virtual portfolio? How do you go about pursuing it beyond?
So what I have my own little YouTube channel where I upload like maybe clips here and there. Like I made a compilation of all my calls from the first half of the semester this year. That's up there. I made one for last year. I did some summer league stuff where I have some goals uploaded on there. So yeah, I link that. I link our YouTube for RMU. I have a paper resume as well where just kind of lists everything I've done. Most importantly, when people are looking for broadcasters, they want to see that you've done a lot. And from every broadcaster I've talked to, they said they've already seen me exceed probably what a lot of people have done so far. I'm only a sophomore too, which makes it even better.
Yes,
so like I said, probably 100 games almost. Probably by the end of the next semester, I got to be probably inching towards maybe 120. So I think the film's definitely there.
That's awesome. I'm so happy to hear that. You know, on a personal, I'm very, very proud of you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You've always been an overachiever, and I'm proud to see what you're doing now. Send me the link over in Discord over to the YouTube channel you were just talking about. I'll put that out there. Everyone else watching.
It's just my name.
What's up?
Just my name, pretty much. I think it's the channel just under my name.
Okay, very good. First and last, or just first?
First and last. I don't think there's many Cadens though. But the way I am, so it's pretty easy to find.
All right, very good. And yeah, everyone else out there, if you're looking for the school's sports broadcast on Twitch TV, I just searched Roger Morris Sports, and it popped up.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to find.
What is it?
For Twitch?
Yeah.
Twitch.tv. Twitch.tv/RMUREC Sports.
RMUREC Sports. And on
yes.
YouTube?
I believe just RMU Campus Rec.
RMU Campus Rec. But again, all I did was I just searched Roger Morris Sports. It popped up right away. You saw our icon. Field playing. But either or, whichever works for you guys. I know it's 7:15. Yeah. I know Caden's got some places to be at 7:15, so wraps that up. Again, thanks you guys for listening to TommyRo. Thank you for listening. Slow down to the TommyRo Talks podcast. The audio for this will be available this weekend on Spotify, SiriusXM, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and iHeartRadio. If anyone wants to listen to this in the audio form, and the video will always be here on Twitch Video On Demand and the TommyRo YouTube channel. Cadeyn, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you so much. Congratulations on everything. Again, super proud of you. And until I talk to you next time, I'll see you. Actually, on another personal note, Cadeyn is the only person I have in my Snapchat that where are we at with our streaks? Fun fact.
We got to be over 1,000 now, right?
1,127 streaks in a row on Snapchat. Overachiever. That's dedication right there. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. So, Cadeyn, thank you again so much for being here. And everyone else out there, this is TommyRo. Remind you all, stay safe, stay distant, stay social. Above all else, wash your hands.